100x, the mythical, the legendary 100x altcoins. These are actually quite rare. They're quite hard to come by. But when you do find them, you kind of just have this feeling that there is significant potential, and you speculate that maybe this altcoin could reach 100x potential. Guys, in today's video, we're discussing just that, 100x altcoin potential. Guys, let's roll the intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video update. And today we are discussing the potential of a 100x altcoin. Now, 100x altcoins are quite difficult to come by. You have to see, good true value when you are buying. Now, there are many different ways that you can achieve a 100x, right? And there are really only a handful that are slightly higher probability than what you might believe to be in the space, right? You can't just go ahead and hit decentralized exchanges or centralized exchanges for that and look for what is dirt cheap and think that you have the 100x potential on those. There's a lot of factors when it comes to whether a coin or a token can reach 100x. And well, I have an altcoin here that I want to talk about. This altcoin is, of course, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Now, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 moon is a project that has just recently launched. We did the private sale round with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 just before they launched. And so this allows you to kind of get in these private rounds, these seed rounds that we've kind of talked about. They allow you to kind of get in at really undervalued prices before they launch on centralized exchanges or decentralized exchanges. And most typically, when you buy into a project at seed round or private round, you have some kind of vesting period where you're locked up for maybe 6, 12, 24 months or so, and you get slowly distributed your tokens that you paid for. This basically means that there's not going to be a huge dump on the market, basically dragging the price down when the project actually launches. So we saw 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 here launching on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗡, 𝗕𝗙𝗪𝗀, and Uniswap pretty much straight away. And we saw great growth potential straight out of the gate. Now, when we saw 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 kind of in the kind of the fundamental stages, the gameplay, all of those kind of things, we also had to kind of speculate on where we thought the price could be going. The tokenomics also play a very key role in that. And I think considering where we're buying at 0.006 of a cent, actually this has got that 100x kind of potential, but it's going to be a long-term play. For example, 100x on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 isn't something that we're going to see overnight. It's going to be something that requires us to actually see significant, adoption of the gameplay, and a lot of people speculating on the price action as well as to why they might buy and hold the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 token. There's some great staking rewards if you are staking 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 as well, and those are definitely going to be a good reason as to why we actually see a lot of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 being locked up, and we see shrinkage of the supply as demand increases. Now, there are a lot of there's a lot of interest in 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. There's a lot of influencers, and there's a huge marketing campaign behind 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 as well. So I do think that this particular project has some pretty true potential to see its growth in its market cap absolutely explode over time. And I do think there's going to be a lot of gains to be made here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Now, on the launch event for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, we did see the price action explode up towards 0.004, I believe. So we actually have seen some pretty significant returns on investment so far as well. But I do think this has so much more potential. At the moment, this is trading on 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀, and Uniswap, but this is only the start. I do think as we see more and more exchanges coming on board with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, we're going to see it kind of explode out above beyond some of the kind of typical areas. Now, of course, this is all just token talk. And when we talk about 100x, we have to also consider more than just, speculating on the price action. We have to understand that there's going to be a reason as to why there's going to be a lot of users coming in and why people might want to play the game, right? So NFT, play to earn mechanics, is a vast 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 verse. and users will be rewarded in 𝗕𝗘𝗪, right? So there's a huge ecosystem around this. Now, I want to talk about, obviously, the speculation as to kind of how big this game could be. Now, we do know that Pokemon way back in the day was a huge driver. So many people were playing it, and it didn't really have any of these Web3 mechanics where you could earn whilst playing the game. Now here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧, we do see very similar game mechanics to that of Pokemon, and I do think we're going to see some pretty interesting user base kind of adopting this game over time. Web2 users might actually be coming here into the Web3 space, understanding that Pokemon was a huge driver for their childhood, and actually now they can relive that through 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. Whilst doing and playing the game, they could also be earning the 𝗕𝗘𝗪 rewards, basically earning money whilst playing a game. And so I do think this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to actually kind of land on and think, actually, this is a really fun, interesting game where I can kind of build out my own story, build up my characters and level them up, evolve them, and actually end up with, rewards at the end of the day as well. I think there's going to be collectors out there that are going to be looking at the NFTs and basically looking to collect them, trade them, and earn that way as well. I think there's some serious potential here for this game as to why we might see a lot of users actually flooding over to the game. And as I said earlier, it's that drive, that kind of a demand for the game that I think is going to basically increase the amount of demand for the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 token. And of course, with staking rewards up for grabs, we can also see why the supply might shrink over time as well, specifically with T being locked up and basically increasing all of those funds being locked up for a significant period. For example, I think there was an over 70% APY for a year lockup, and that could be really, really lucrative in the longer term. Now, 100x, I keep going back to it because it isn't easy. But if we were to see 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 climb up towards 6 cents, we could see that 100x become reality. And I think that is really important. Now, if you haven't, of course, got into 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧, you can do so already. You might not necessarily see 100x, but you might still be on the cusp of 50, 60 plus x quite comfortably, in my opinion, when it comes to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. As I've said, it is available on BitGet, 𝗕𝗓𝒄, and Uniswap, and many other platforms I think are to come. Don't get me wrong, we are just one, crypto YouTuber channel out there. There are many that are also talking about 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧, and many more I think will be talking about it in the coming days, weeks, and months, specifically as it starts to grow more and more adoption, and we start to see it trading on more and more centralized and decentralized exchanges. In terms of market cap, I do think we are likely to see 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 absolutely exploding to the upside, and I wouldn't be surprised if 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 actually moves up more aggressively towards the $1 billion market cap. At the moment, fully diluted, we're only at $117 million market cap. And at the moment, if we were to just take into consideration the current market cap, I think we would be approximately around that kind of level. So I think for the most part, we have the potential here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 to do some really phenomenal gains. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be one of those altcoins that performs insanely well over a longer term period. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 in the comments down below. And why don't you check out this video here and you'll stay up to date with the crypto space.